Okay, I have my non-stick skillet on high heat. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Just want to roll it around. And I'm going to add the fillets that we had salt and peppered earlier. Just like that. Okay. Now, I just flipped my steak, and you can see the absolutely gorgeous crust on my steak. That's from drying the steak and getting that salt and pepper on there. I want to add 2 cloves of smashed garlic and a nice little bunch of thyme. I'm going to get that going. That popping sound is the thyme. About 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And I'm going to let that melt down. At this point, I'm going to tip my pan forward. I'm going to take the butter and I'm basting it over the fillets, just like this. Once you've got a beautiful baste on there, we're going to pop this pan. Now make sure that you use a oven-safe pan. We're going to pop these into a 350-degree oven for about 2 minutes. Now we've just put our fillets in the oven, and we're going to prepare to make our sauce. So I've got a shallot here. Okay, so I have a half a shallot here that I've peeled the skin off, and I am just slicing this down into thin slices. Okay, we're going to set this aside. Okay, our potatoes are done and tender. I've drained them off. Now for my famous garlic mashed potatoes, I'm just going to chop up some green onion. I have two scallions right here. I've sliced them and I just want to give them a little bit more of a finer chop. We're going to add these into the potatoes, and we're going to add 1 stick of regular butter. This is salted butter. This is not unsalted. I'm just going to chop it into pieces so it melts a little easier. And then I'm going to add just a couple tablespoons of heavy cream just to start out with. And I'm going to start to smash the potatoes. Remember, the garlic was already in there, and we're just smashing up the garlic with the potatoes. I prefer to use a hand masher because I like them to be nice and rustic. I also leave the skins on. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. I'm going to add a little bit of salt, some freshly ground black pepper. Now, if you like your potatoes a little more creamy, again, like I said, you don't have to use the mixer. And you can also add a couple more tablespoons of the heavy whipping cream, which I'm going to do right now. Maybe another tablespoon. Give it a little taste, make sure it doesn't need anything. They're absolutely perfect. Okay, so I'm getting ready to take my steaks out of the oven. Before I do that, I want to show you a quick way to test and see if your steak is done. Right here I have my hand. It's absolutely relaxed. Using this part, this fleshy part of your thumb, with a relaxed hand, you press on that. That is the consistency that a piece of rare meat will have. When you put your one finger, your pointer finger and your thumb together, not tightly, don't hold it tightly or you'll tighten up this little pad right here. Very relaxed. That is a medium rare. This is medium. This is medium well done. And this is well done. And as you keep going, you'll start to feel this pad of your you'll start to feel the pad of your hand tighten up, just the same as it does with meat. So I'm going to take my steaks out of the oven right now. They are absolutely gorgeous. I've got that beautiful crust on there. I have this delicious broth that's going to be the base for our it's going to be the base for our pan sauce, and I just want to check. These are perfectly medium rare. We want to get the steaks out of the pan when we rest them, or they're going to continue to cook. So we're going to put the steaks on a wire rack, and we just want to let them rest for about 3 minutes. Again, we still have our thyme in here. We have our garlic in here. And we have all this ridiculous buttery steak juice. We're going to turn our heat on medium-high. I'm going to add some shallots. And we're going to let them cook up until they're nice and soft and translucent. Okay, so right now, our Swiss chard is beautiful. It's wilted down. I tasted it for seasoning. It doesn't need anything. Absolutely delicious. Get all this juice out. Pour it over the Swiss chard. We're going to heat this pan on high. We're going to put a little bit of olive oil. And we're going to take our radicchio, and I'm going to cut about 1/2-inch slices of this radicchio. You can see how absolutely gorgeous that is. And we're going to fry it in our pan, and we're going to serve this as a side. Now you can see the drippings have now reduced down with the shallot, the garlic, the thyme. I'm going to add just a little bit of beef stock. And I'm going to add a dash of balsamic vinegar. We're just going to let this continue to cook down a little bit. It's going to be it's not going to be thick. It's just going to be like a au jus almost. So we just want to continue to cook this for just a little bit so that we can reduce some of that harsh acidity from the balsamic vinegar down. Okay, our sauce is exactly where we want it, our little bit of pan sauce here. It's just slightly thick, but it's still an au jus consistency. Needs a little bit of salt and just a little bit more black pepper. So I'm just going to strain this through so I have a nice silky pan sauce. Okay, so we've got our gorgeous charred radicchio. I'm removing from the pan right now. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's going to taste even better. I'm going to actually take the mushrooms and I'm going to put them through the sieve, and I'm going to let all the juice from the mushrooms actually go into our Swiss chard here. I'm going to add everything back into the pan, and we're going to brown these mushrooms up. And you can see right away this absolutely gorgeous caramelization that I got. So I've maximized the flavor into the mushrooms, and now I've got an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous caramelization. Up some fresh parsley. I'm just doing a nice rough chop. I really want the color, the green color from this parsley come through. Gonna add just a dash to the mushrooms. Move them around. I definitely don't have to taste them for salt and pepper because they're already seasoned. Just gonna pull the thyme out of there. Turn the heat off. Okay, so we have our Swiss chard right here. We have our mushrooms, our fillets, our charred radicchio, our mashed potatoes, and our sauce, and we're ready to plate up. Okay, basically, I'm just pouring our pan sauce over top. I've got our potatoes, our sliced radicchio, our Swiss chard, our perfectly cooked filet, and our mushrooms. And we're ready to go to the table. Alright, kiddo, let's dig in. First, let's check to make sure that the filet is perfectly cooked. That filet is a perfect medium rare. If you can see that at home, perfectly medium rare. Perfect every time. Okay, so we're ready for dessert, and I pulled the chocolate mousse out of the refrigerator. It's been chilling for about an hour, and I'm just going to come in here and take a little bit. And you can see how light and fluffy that is. It's out of this world. For this and other recipes, follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/RotundChef. And from there you can be linked up to my actual written food blog where this recipe will be and everything that I cooked today. And next week you're in for a treat. I can't reveal what it is yet, but I promise you it's even going to be better than this one. So I'm the Rotund Chef, and thanks for watching.